Welcome to the Guitar Dads Podcast, a podcast for guitar people by guitar dads. This week, Fender goes back to basics, and will they give you a Woody with these new guitars? This incredible singer says he doesn't believe in love or a reunion, and Dave sees a pop show he never thought he'd see. Will it be a track meet this week on the Guitar Dads Podcast? And now, the guys whose ideas don't track at all, Matt and Dave.
Hello, everybody. I'm Matt.
And I'm Dave, and welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome. It's an odd night for us to be recording, so I'm still feeling kind of weird about this.
You feeling weird? Just drink more bourbon. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to do that. That's a good idea.
We're recording this week. We usually record Thursday evenings, and Thursday evening is the 4th of July for us here in the United States.
We hope you had a great and safe 4th of July and lit off a bunch of fireworks if they're not illegal in your state.
Yeah, we do. We hope you had a great one. We hope we had a great one.
We hope we had a great one too. Yeah, it was fun. I had a great time.
Did you have a good time? Good.
Barbecued a lot, drank a lot. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that's my plans.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome everybody into the show. Thanks for checking us out. And if you're new, thank you for giving us a chance. And we hope you come back next week if we entertain you now. And of course, a big thank you to all of our loyal listeners and, of course, our patrons. If you want to go support the show, go over to patreon.com/guitardadspodcast and give us a little support if you want. And again, thanks to all of our patrons out there. You know where to find us at Guitar Dads Podcast on Instagram and in the Facebook group. And, lots of fun stuff going on in the group. We're going to dive into our listener mailbag tonight with an interesting topic and get into some other stuff that we've been talking about over there. So, that's it. Thanks for listening.
And thanks for listening. Yeah.
You got anything, dude?
No, I think we should get there.
All right.
Let's get in the spaceship.
All right, here we go.
Ooh, we're here.
Into the Dataverse.
Ludicrous speed. That was fun.
Ludicrous speed. What isn't Ludacris in a new ad on TV? What is he?
They've gone to Plaid.
Ludacris is in a new. Yeah.
Oh, he's like in an Allstate. I think is he in an Allstate ad? I think he's.
And
in
somebody
an
says
ad.
like this is Ludacris, and like there he is or something.
Yeah, and then he shows up. Yes, that's true. Yes,
that's it.
It's an Allstate ad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's Jake from Allstate or whatever his name is.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we got some interesting news and notes to go through tonight. So, guys, if you're going to listen, those of us that are married, we all know you got to be careful when it comes to anniversaries, right? You need to make sure that you're doing the right thing.
This is kind of a dad thing.
Anniversary.
Yeah, this is kind of a dad topic. Yeah.
Well, a gentleman was not too careful and decided to send his wife a YouTube clip of 14 years by Guns N' Roses because it was his 14th wedding anniversary. And if you are not a Guns fan, you can only imagine this is not like a love song. So
no, it's definitely not a love song.
In fact, it's an opposite than love song.
Yeah.
And he got the crap on Reddit and got torn apart by people and put back in his place. So guys, be careful.
Funny.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, just know the content of the songs that you're sending, right? Like, just know what's going on.
I mean, how the lyrics go, it's been 14 years of silence. It's been 14 years of pain. I mean, okay, let me send this to my wife to wish her a happy anniversary.
Yeah, geez. Maybe he was trying to send his message to his wife. Like,
maybe it was,
I'm
14
miserable.
years too many. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm miserable with you, woman. Maybe that was the message he was trying to send. You never know with marriages.
You never know, but probably a good idea to not go through the Guns catalog if you want to wish your wife a happy anniversary.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. If you're gonna, when you think about romance, you don't really think about Guns N' Roses.
Well, unless you're sending her like "Welcome to the Jungle" and you're calling her upstairs or something. So hey,
but even then, it's like,
hey now,
welcome to the jungle, you're gonna die. Like, no,
yeah,
it doesn't really give the vibes.
Well, no. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It totally doesn't
give the vibes. Which Guns? Speaking of Guns N' Roses, Dave, you probably know where I'm going with this.
Oh
The
yeah, can we talk
clips,
about this tonight?
the clips of Axel
Oh,
from the latest tour. They're not on tour right now, are they? I think they are.
I hope not.
No, they're not because Slash is doing
He's doing his blues
his
thing.
blues thing, so they're not. But anyway, from the clips that are showing up, and a lot of people are kind of grabbing them and making little reels and TikToks about them. Like Axel's voice is just completely gone. Now, when I saw them in 2016, this poster that's behind me is from when I saw them in 2016. His voice was not terrible. It wasn't, Axel from, Appetite for Destruction, but it wasn't, he wasn't what he is now. He seems to be singing completely in a falsetto now. All right. So
Wow.
to get to the high notes that he used to sing, he just sings all in falsetto and it has no power or anything behind it. And it's really like he was doing Welcome to the Jungle. He's like, Welcome to the Jungle. Hey, fun and games. Like it didn't actually, I think I sound a little bit better than he sounded. That's how he's singing it. That's how he's singing it.
I'm gonna argue that this started last summer on that tour, because that is part of the reason that
you're right.
I mean, you wanted to go. We were going to get last minute tickets.
Yeah, I did want to go. Yeah.
I wasn't into it because I had seen some clips and I just thought that I mean, Guns N' Roses is such an important band for me, for you, and I didn't want to have that experience kind of ruined by going to a really terrible show,
But this is like we talked about, and I am coming around on this, and we're going to talk about this with JT, with Justin Timberlake. That's who JT is, in case you guys didn't know. I feel like Axel, like he needs tracks to give the fans a better experience.
Yes, right? He's somebody that benefits from that AI that we talked about last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Like, can they do this?
As much as I'm against it.
I know, like we're not really, we don't like this, but at the same time, if you're going to have a good time and you want this nostalgia of Guns N' Roses, like, and you hear him singing like that, you're like, what the hell is going on? It's just like Vince Neil. It's the same thing.
Oh, he's worse.
And I feel like people are going to go no matter what. We've talked about this a lot. Like, and we used to say, like, either do it live and do it the right way or don't do it at all. Like, we kind of used to say that. I definitely subscribe to that as an opinion. But now I feel like people are going to go anyway. So why don't you just kind of get some tracks in there to support it a little bit more so it's a better experience?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I mean, agree.
I mean, look.
I partially agree.
Do you agree? Do you really now?
No, I really don't want to see.
You wouldn't go to see that.
But in a situation like that, I think that's bad application of tracks. But that's, that's my opinion.
Yeah, but if the guy can't sing anymore, then
he shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, well, so then they just shouldn't play at all, even though there's a giant demand for them to play.
I would get.
See,
well,
this is where I get tricky with this. This is where it's tricky.
No, to me, see, here's the thing. This is I compartmentalize the whole thing because I separate myself as a fan in what I want to see, and I don't want one of my favorite bands to be slipping down the slope faster than they were a year ago.
Yeah.
And I don't really care about the demand. I don't care what other people think about it. I care only about what I care about as a fan, and I don't want to see this lasting legacy of like Guns N' Roses, this Axl singing like that. I don't.
But again, so this is where we disagree, right, Dave? Like, I think the lasting legacy is those albums they put out, right? And there's some amazing live albums.
If this keeps on going too long,
the Tokyo,
the
Live at Tokyo, that's an amazing album. So
I will. Well, what about? Can we go back? Can we go to the Vince Neil stuff?
Yeah,
because you mentioned him.
Yeah, I did. I think him.
You did mention him. I contend that the whole Motley falling out partially was due to a lot of these guys kind of just like they're getting older. Yeah, and nobody wants to admit who's the one dragging the thing down.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's a great point.
I think Mick. The more I think about it, I believe Mick was kind of the fall guy here. I think Vince is the one that can't do it. Maybe even Nicky can't do it as much anymore.
Yeah,
and because Mick has the health issues, he can't move anymore on stage. He took the fall for this. This is
we need to make a meme.
Theory.
We need to make a meme of. This is like the Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other. that's like a Motley Crue. It's like, he can't play live. He can't play live. He can't play live. It's like you guys are just all pointing at each other.
Yeah.
We gotta get in touch with Brando from the Appetite for Distortion podcast.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you're a Guns N' Roses fan, he was on the show a long time. If you're a Guns N' Roses fan, you go check out that podcast. I wonder what Brando has been saying about Axl's voice lately. We got,
Yeah, we should pull up some of his posts. It's a good question. He's a
yeah,
super fan, and I really love to
yeah.
know. I don't
I
know. I
wonder
mean,
what the diehards are thinking, because we kind of talked about this with Brenda when he was on. Like, there's people that are in the Slash camp and people that are in the kind of Axl camp, and they're just such diehard GNR fans, and they love Axl. I wonder what they think about all this. Right? I can tell you, like,
see, good point.
one of my friends is a hardcore U2 fan, has been forever, and he's just like, Bono is Bono. Like, Bono just does what he does now, you know. Like, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just what he does. Right? Because
Yeah,
Bono
I
just
mean,
doesn't have it anymore either. But from the clips I've seen of Bono, he's a lot better than a lot of aging rockers. I mean, I do kind of hand it to him. He's not what he used to be, but he's definitely not the level that Axl and Vince are on. No way. So
yeah, you know what, you mentioned the Slash fans versus the Axl fans, and I can't imagine that
yeah.
the separated Axl fans here, I can't imagine that they're going to hear this stuff and be on board.
Well, of
Whereas the
course
true,
not. Yeah.
if you're seeing Guns N' Roses these days because you're a Slash fan, there's now two opportunities for you to go see Slash.
Oh
So
yeah.
you don't need to see Axl.
Yeah, and I think we kind of, like, you and I kind of chalked that up and said, well, he's not going to stop the Miles and Conspirators thing. Now he's got this whole
No.
blues thing, and he actually said on an interview last week that he was interested in keeping this blues thing going and doing like occasionally doing a tour, keeping it going.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
it's kind of interesting. I agree with you. It's like, yes, Guns N' Roses is a part of his life and it's what it is. But I think this also kind of puts the nail in the coffin of, like, like a whole new Guns album, right? Like,
See, oh, I was just you
I just
just
don't
took the
see how
words
he
right out of
does
my
it.
mouth.
I mean, maybe
And
he can
I
do it,
think,
but,
yeah.
Bon Jovi just put out an album as an example. He can't sing his old songs. So maybe there, and if you do listen to the Guns N' Roses stuff, I mean, they were Chinese leftovers, but um,
Is
his
this why
voice
the
isn't
new
as
album?
bad. So
Is this why we haven't heard New Guns?
it could. This is just speculation. It could be. It could be.
Like Slash has just been like, he's been holding off because, and who knows, maybe I'd hate to say, here comes more conspiracy shit, but Slash, you've always said, is Slash saving his best stuff for his solo records or for the Conspirators, right? And is he wondering, and does he have the balls to say to Axl, dude, you can't do this anymore? And he's not just not putting his best foot forward to give him the best
Maybe.
music?
Yeah. Maybe.
Or
Maybe.
is he just, have they both come to the realization, like, let's just end this thing gracefully as much as we can and just
Yeah.
call it a day?
Look. Singers have a hard time. Like, I sing myself. You guys know I sing in my band, and it's difficult. It's really difficult. So, and I'm not singing on the schedule that these guys sang for decades and decades, right? So, like, I don't necessarily hold it against them. Like, yes,
No, I don't
Axl,
either. I don't either.
Axl has gained weight. He's not like Mr. Fit. He's not, and that's part of it, but that's not really the whole story. But I think he definitely kind of abused his body for a while and just kind of didn't come out of it. And now his body's kind of not, is kind of failing him. And that's kind of what it is. So if you look
What
at,
is it?
if you look at Duff and Slash, I mean, Slash is kind of, put on a little weight as well, but he still looks pretty, like, you can tell, like, Slash is lifting weights and stuff. He looks kind of
He
buff.
works out. He works
Yeah, he
out.
looks kind of buff, and so does Duff. Duff looks like better than he ever looked now.
He does.
Duff looks like he's like jacked and ripped and everything. I think when he got sober, he got really into fitness and stuff. So,
Do you think that, though? So it's interesting that you mentioned the fitness. There's only really a handful of frontmen that of that age that look really good and still, and it shows. And this is probably why they're
yeah,
outperforming their brethren. And
yeah,
those people are Steven Tyler and Mick Jagger.
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but Steven Tyler, he's skinny. He hasn't gained weight or anything, but his voice is done. He's shot.
His voice. Well, we'll see what
Yeah,
happens with this tour. I don't
yeah,
think they're going
and
to
that
make it
is
through the
just
40
overuse.
dates.
That's
Yes.
not being out of shape. That it's the way that he sings, and what he's been through in his life. Like it's not. I mean, the guy's almost 80 years old, isn't he? What is he? Late
He's
70,
74, I think.
74. Oh, okay.
74,
I thought he was a
75.
little. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. 70, but still 75. Like, come on.
He's
Like,
yeah, it's up there. But anyway, yeah, so that's an interesting
that was a big digression we just took. We can come back to
no,
it, Dave.
it was good, and I'll tell you why, because it segues into our final news and notes segment. Jeff Tate was interviewed recently. Jeff Tate, of course, of Queensryche fame and his own
Yeah.
solo career. Talk about a killer singer back in the day. He can
Oh
still
my
do it.
god. Oh my god.
I mean, this guy.
Yeah, he can
And
still
so
do it. He
he
can sing
can
pretty
still
well
do
still.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
So
I know we're talking about Queensryche, but go ahead, finish
no,
this and
what? Go
then.
ahead.
Well, I
You
was
want
going
to
to
talk
say
about some?
I did listen to the Sebastian Bach album, and I was impressed at how good his voice actually sounded. And I will say it's the whole thing where he's not trying to sing like he did in Skid Row
That's
back in the day.
right.
It's a little different. He does hit some high notes that I wouldn't think and maybe there's some studio magic going on, who knows. But definitely it's not the same voice that it was in the past.
Nope.
And it sounded pretty good. I'll give it to him. But I'll say the same
What'd you
about the new
think?
Bon Jovi
Did you
material.
like the album though?
I think there's some good songs on it. I actually
Yeah, I
think
do
it's
too.
pretty decent. Like, am I going to go see him live? I don't know. Probably not. But I'd be interested to see some clips of how he sings that stuff live if he can really do it.
Yeah, that's why I mean,
so.
I get, Skid Row's in the situation where they had the other health issue with their other singer who's been in the band for a while. And
And
Lizzie
then
Hale has
yeah,
had to
Lizzie
fill
joined
in.
for a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
But if this dude can't get back on stage, I have to wonder if they're all going to kind of let bygones be bygones at least for a while and do this reunion
I
thing.
don't think he can sing those songs anymore, man.
Well, what if he doesn't do them the way he did them?
Yeah, if you drop him down a couple of steps.
He's
or
convinced.
Yeah.
He's said in interviews that he's convinced he can still do it. And listening to this album, I think he's right.
Maybe he's right, but I don't know what tunings these songs were in that he was doing. Like, I would be surprised if he can really still pull off. Like, I Remember You, and
maybe they put it down in like C sharp.
I think he would need to change some keys. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
but maybe not. Look,
yeah.
maybe but that's not what I heard on the album. I didn't hear like the that Skid Row album. I didn't hear that on this album that he wrote. I didn't hear that voice. So
no, and in recent interviews he has admitted to that he just
but
can't.
It's good.
He realizes that he can't do certain things anymore. So I think that if he's going to give you a very genuine show, I think he can do it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're right, and I think it would probably be pretty good. And the album's actually not terrible. So those of you that are Skid Row fans, Sebastian Bach fans, it's not bad. It's actually there's some good songs on it.
I really
and
like.
He sings pretty well a lot of it. I mean, like I said, he had one of the best of voices in that era, and you could argue of like in rock and roll. He just did.
Yeah.
So
he did.
Cool. All right.
But back to Jeff Tate real quick. He so there, I guess, when they had their falling out, it took a very long time for things to boil over, and they never really totally did. But it's calmed even more so to the point that he's being asked about reunions and a reunion, and he says no. He's not going to do it. Just he can't imagine these guys getting back together with some of the things that were said amongst all of them.
Interesting.
And, yeah, so
well,
I
think
that we've talked about a possible reunion
too bad.
On a previous show, but I mean, man, we never really were like huge Queensryche guys, but I think that would be kind of great show to see if they did reunite, because
I've only
he's such a killer vocalist.
I agree. I agree with you. I only started to appreciate Queensryche because if you listen to Hair Nation on Sirius XM, they play a ton of Queensryche.
They love it, and it's always the same two songs.
And it's always like a couple of two songs, but but then you can kind of listen a little more. Yeah, I mean, just awesome, like amazing band, so good. So
yeah, they're really good.
Speaking of really good,
so there you go. Speaking of really good, yeah, great segue.
There we go.
You know what? You're hired. You're going to do all the segues on the show.
That's way too much pressure on me.
By the way, did you know that this episode of the Guitar Dads podcast, for right now, I guess, until Matt decides that he's going to quit, is sponsored by Copper Sound Pedals, a boutique pedal company. They're doing some great stuff right here in the state of Massachusetts. And, where we are. And today we are going to put the spotlight on a pedal that Matt owns. The Strat. No, you don't. I'm sorry.
No,
you don't
own Broadway.
You own the Broadway.
Yeah.
No, we're going to highlight the Strategy, which is, this is a pedal that everybody needs. So this is a pedal looks fresh and unique, and it's also a recognizable kind of thing. So if you've seen these things, kind of has like that Strat kind of like, describe it, Matt. What am I trying to say here?
It looks like the Strat pickguard.
Looks like the Strat.
It looks like a piece of a Strat, like you just like stamped out a piece of a Strat body with like partial pickguard, partial wood, and that's what it looks like, and it's incredible. And it has
even the input is kind of that angled input.
That's right. The input is the angled input. Cool. That's right. It's a Strat style input. And so what does it do, Dave? Talk about it.
It's a highly powerful 2-channel guitar preamp pedal with an overdrive mode. And it's based around an audiophile grade Burr Brown op amp. So whether you like your preamp clean or slightly gritty, the Strategy has you covered. It also features smart bypass switching to allow the player to achieve latching and momentary operation, a very cool thing. Also, can we just talk about how these guys offer the option to customize the finish? The pickguard, the knobs, the hardware at no additional charge. I mean, that is honestly, that is one of the most unique things about Copper Sound, and especially these couple pedals, the Broadway and the Strategy.
Oh yeah,
customize it, guys. It's awesome.
It's completely awesome, and if you want people to ask you about what's going on your board, and this is a head turner, it's a conversation piece. And it sounds freaking awesome. And the fact that you can customize it, like Dave said, is awesome. And you have the knobs look like the Strat. I can't. Why do I say strap? Strat.
Because we're going to talk about those later.
Yeah, we are. Strat knobs, and it looks great, and it sounds great, and you should get one of these.
Yeah, they're great pedals. We both tried them. And the other cool thing, so if you want to customize it, very uniquely, send Alex a picture of your guitar. He can probably do it.
He can do it. He will do it.
And as a bonus for our listeners, you guys are going to get 10% off these things. Go to coppersoundpedals.com and type in the code DADS10 for 10% off your order.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Thanks to Copper Sound Pedals. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Big sponsor of the show, and we love it. And we love what Alex and the gang are doing down there.
Yeah.
So there you go. Get your Copper Sound pedal. 10%
Here we go, indeed.
on us. All right.
It's the dad joke on the way. Now, here's your dad joke.
So, Matt, I got some advice for you. Never date a tennis player. Love
it does. It means nothing in tennis.
It means nothing. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Be here all week.
That's manufactured laughter right there. If I
oh man, that is
funny
stuff.
There you go. Listener mailbag time, shall we?
I mean, where are you going to get comedy of that caliber? I mean,
really nowhere.
I just don't know. So,
yeah, nowhere. All right, let's move on to our listener mailbag segment. This week's listener mailbag has been sent in by, and I hope I'm saying this right, Eric Gudgel. Man, I hope I'm not like
Yeah,
butchering the
that's how I
last
would
name.
say it.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that's it. So I'll just read what he wrote in. Let's talk about guitar straps. Exciting? Yes, actually, I do think they're exciting.
It
Do
is.
you do like a 1-to-1 strap to guitar, or do you just have one strap and move it between guitars like a crazy person? If you do 1-to-1, do you invest in a $40 to $60 boutique strap to pair with your valuable guitar, or do you go with the Guitar Center or Amazon Basic strap for $10? Matt?
Oh, I love this question because we don't talk about this stuff so
No,
often. It's a great question. Thank you, Eric.
it is.
So I am pretty much a one-to-one guitar to strap person. And for my heavy Les Pauls, actually I only have one heavy Les Paul and one like ultra modern weight relief Les Paul. So for those but I do have nice straps for those. I think I have like a Levi's leather straps for both of them. And I don't know, like I just feel like it's just easier to keep it in the case. If you're someone that plays with a band and goes to rehearsal and gigs with it, I always like to know that, I have that strap with this guitar. I know it's going to hang right on me because that's the other thing. So, Les Pauls, obviously, if you have a bunch of different Les Pauls, you don't need a bunch of different straps. Straps? What's wrong with me? I only drank one bourbon. Um,
Listen, could I just say one thing? If we're talking about Les Pauls, nothing's really hanging, huh?
Oh, hey now.
Okay. Oh, moving on.
That's enough of that. Good, let's move on is right. So but for different guitars, they hang in a different way. Dave, don't make any comment about what I just said. They hang in a different way. No, stop it.
What's going on?
You can't even have a grown-up conversation about straps. So different guitars, depending on the shape, what they are, they hang in a different way. So the length of the strap, how you want it on your body, is gonna change between guitars. So that's another good reason why you need to have a one. In my opinion, it works and a little bit better to have a 1-to-1 guitar and strap ratio. So I do that, so for my heavy guitars, I think like having a nice, more padded strap makes a lot of sense. For guitars like my Strat and for other ones, even my Banshee, that is not heavy at all. I actually don't get really fancy with straps, but I did buy. I got a little bit fancy. I think I got some Dunlop straps that had like some like designs on them or something. So I think instead of paying like $10 or $15 for a strap, they were like 25, but they're your basic like kind of like nylon strap, but they just had like some cool like I don't know, like a design like artwork on them. So one had like cool like skulls on it. One's like a black kind of paisley that I got. So that's what I do. And then I also love I want to make I love that Diodario has come out with some strap locks like that are built in, and it's not just Diodario. There's other ones. So like I think like Dunlop makes some, and
Yep.
a bunch of Ernie Ball, a bunch of people make them. But there's like these ones that are like strap. They have like a locking kind of thing that goes around the peg, so you don't have to install like locking strap locks. Right.
Yeah.
You can just use your existing strap pegs or whatever they're called. Are they pegs or buttons, strap buttons, I guess is what we call them. And they kind of lock over them. I like those as well. I think those are great.
They are, but they just so if they were available in like wider straps in cooler looking colors and material, like more comfortable material, I think would be more enjoyable.
But I did recently get I think it was Diodario that makes them, these things that I've been using with my Banshee actually, that there's like these little locks. They're not like the Grolsch beer things. You know about the Grolsch beer things, Dave? They're not like that. Like
the
I
rubbery
have
kind
of the rubber kind of gaskets.
Those are annoying. Those are so hard to get on.
They're a pain to get on, so I don't use those for that reason. So these are this is like the same idea that Diodario makes, but they're kind of really easy to get on. They're like little plastic things. Are they plastic or are they like a metal? They're like an aluminum, and they kind of go on and they kind of clip on to the button
Oh, I'll have
once
to
you
check
put the
those out. I think I know
strap
what you're
on.
talking about, though.
They
Yeah.
work pretty well, but then you got to deal with like there's another thing you got to deal with and having your
It's
gig bag.
two-step. It's a two-step
Yeah,
process,
it's a
and we're really
two-step
looking for one.
process.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. But I really like the Diodario one that was like a straight up like nylon strap. And it worked great for my old Strat, my American Strat, my actual Fender Strat. It fit over the buttons extremely well. There was this cool little like locking strap that just would easily go over. I still use it for a couple of other my guitars, but it didn't fit on my Sir and it didn't fit on the Banshee. So,
interesting.
So I got these other ones, and then I got those lock things like I was just talking about. So that's what I do with my straps. But I love straps. I think they're cool as like a fashion statement kind of thing too. If you want to get some cool embroidered ones, or like I said, the ones that I had that kind of had like designs on it and stuff. I think that's fun. I think it's cool. I mean, to me, like I don't keep my straps on my guitars. I know there's some people that only playing up, like standing up, or only play with the strap on. They always don't say anything there either, Dave. Dave's like cracking up. They only play guitars with straps. How about I rephrase it? They only play like whether they're sitting or standing, they're only playing guitars with straps. So the guitar is always strapped onto them in some way.
I just can't. I can't. I just can't right now with
you. All right, so that's me. What do you do, Dave?
Oh man. Well, I certainly don't play with a strap on.
Dave, are you a strap on always kind of guy?
So, yeah. Oh man. Jeez. Hold on. Okay, we're
Dave
back.
Is dying over
we're
here.
Back.
We're back. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. No, I love the topic because I think straps are very underrated. And I think if you think about it, there's a lot of our favorite players that have like signature straps that they always wear the same straps, right? Slash, Gilmore was another one. Who else? I'm just thinking of people off the cuff, but yeah, they definitely are like a statement, and people notice them. Whether you realize when you go see a band, when you watch the guitarist, you're noticing their strap. For me, like I'm a home player, so for me it's all about comfort. I do like a wider strap, especially with the heavier guitars. I like the padded kind of like the what are they, like the is it like the Perry leather ones, or whoever makes the
Perry
ones
makes good ones too. Yeah, Levi's, yep. Perry.
And it's got like the not like the wool kind of like, that those are very comfortable.
Yeah, they are. I have one of those for my heavy Les Paul. I think it's a
they're
Levi's
great, right?
I have. Yeah, they are nice.
But when I had I still have it. I have even a wider strap that I got that I thought I wanted something even wider for more comfort. It was a super padded like leather strap, but I never use it. I do like those Diodario ones, the straps that you're talking about, but it's just like I said, they're not that comfortable if you're going to wear it for very long. Yeah. I just want that padding on my shoulders.
If you have a light guitar, they work great. So
it's fine. Yeah, they work
like
great.
I said, my Strat, it was perfect for my Strat. I never had an issue with it. So a lighter guitar.
Well,
no
you
problem.
got me into those Schaller strap locks, which I think are pretty good.
Yeah, I have those on my Les Pauls. Yeah, they are pretty good. Some people like the Dunlops. It's whatever your preference is.
They're a little finicky. They're a little finicky to kind of get off, I think, sometimes. Yeah. But they work well. But yeah, straps. I mean, what are you going to say? I usually do play standing up because I just find it to be more comfortable.
Standing up is more comfortable for you? Really interesting.
For my arms, I don't know why.
Yeah,
like
I can see that.
The chair.
Well, I think
I just feel like I'm high up.
This is another interesting little subtopic because I think people, and I do this myself and I've kind of learned not to do it as much. People tend to slouch when they sit and play guitars. Like hunch over, maybe not slouch, but like hunch over your guitar, and standing, like you said, like it makes it so you're not going to slouch over so much, right? Like
when I do
over
sit,
your guitar.
Yeah. So, yeah. When I do sit, Like if it's just a convenience thing, I'm going to come down and play for a little bit. I don't feel like grabbing a strap and whatever. I do tend to force myself to lean back,
Yeah.
sit up tall because
Yeah.
it's just more comfortable for my arms and hands.
If you're
Um,
sitting in, like, I'll give you some advice. If you're sitting in a chair, like like a chair with a back, I should say a chair with a back, like a desk chair or something like that,
yeah,
you should feel your back again, at least your lower back
yep,
against the chair when
lean
you're
back.
playing, sitting down. That, yeah, sitting up straight so you feel it. That I think helps. But but then sometimes when I'm trying to really learn something intricate, I'll find myself hunching over again, and you're right,
Yeah,
it's
because you're
not good.
leaning at the screen,
Yeah,
looking to see what they're playing.
yeah,
Yeah,
stuff like that. So it is a good idea to try to remind yourself when you're sitting down playing to stand up. But I think that is a whole reason why people really like the straps, to just keep them on the
yeah,
straps all the time.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
prefer it. I don't know why. I maybe, and I think because of my positioning, I play better.
yeah,
Just
sure,
because my arms are more relaxed. I feel
yeah,
like I'm almost like maybe it is even when I'm leaning back a little bit, if I don't really kind of reach, I don't know how to describe it, but reaching like under the guitar a little bit, guitar neck a little bit more and
yep,
kind of making sure I've got that proper grip.
yep,
Um, I tend to just let my hand hang more,
yep,
in
yep.
that position. Whereas when you're standing, you're kind of forced to do that. So,
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess
um,
that's a good point. I guess you could have one thing I do is when I'm learning a part, especially a part that I'm going to play with my band, I will stand up and play it. Right. I might like work it out when I'm sitting down because I spend a lot of time like just sitting here at my desk and playing guitar. But I
well,
will
something
like
to be said about you're going to be playing it live, so you might as well
I might
play
as well
standing up.
stand up and learn and just make sure I got it standing up as well. And then usually that's not a hard transition for me because like I said, I do like to kind of lean back when I'm sitting down playing. But sometimes it is. Sometimes if it's something pretty intricate, like it can be an issue. So I don't know. I don't know. If you're someone that's going to play standing up in a band or something, like just don't forget to practice standing up. I'll
Yeah,
just put it that just throw
exactly.
that out there. So, but yeah, I
Well,
like
thanks, Eric.
it's fun having straps. Is just another cool accessory to buy for your
It
guitar.
is.
So why not? I say why not? I
Yeah,
think it's great.
I agree.
I would
Never have enough straps.
um oh man, I had something pop into my mind. Now it's gone. I was gonna shout out. Oh geez, I lost it. We'll come back to it. We'll come
We'll
back
come
to
back
it.
to it.
I know it was strap
Um,
related. Now I lost it. But
well,
anyway.
we'll come back to it. All right, let's move on. We will go into we got a lot of gear to get into, so we're gonna move into some gear talk.
Oh, we are? I thought we were going to talk about the JT show. You don't want to
Oh,
do
that's
it?
right. Yeah, we got to do that
Just talk
too.
about it
Yeah,
for
we
a
want to do
short
that real
time.
quick.
Yeah, talk about it because Dave
Yeah,
went to see Justin Timberlake with his wife, and he said
I
it was a
did.
life changing experience for him.
Well, I don't know about that. So yeah, no, I bought tickets for my wife for her birthday. She really wanted to go, and I splurged and got as good a seats as I felt like spending the money on, and it was good. It was really good, and I like JT. He's great, of course,
Oh, yeah.
and but I'll tell you, the real standout of this show was the tech,
Yeah.
the set and how it all interacted. He had this um, giant, like these giant screens, and the two side screens kind of maintain their position for the night.
Yeah.
Then there were these other screens that would go up kind of in front of the band that were kind of set in the back a little bit, and they
Yeah.
do some things and all sorts of stuff. Then there was this massive, like, the only way I can describe it is this massive rectangular like 3D screen that was moving and doing all sorts of stuff throughout the show.
That's crazy.
It, and it was just so cool to watch and how it interacted with the other screens. The tech was just amazing. It was so well produced. And at the end, for the kind of the encore, he didn't really leave stage, but the last song, he disappears, and all of a sudden, that box is now starting to tip forward, on itself, on its front,
Wow.
and he's up top. And
Wow.
then that thing floats out over the audience, and now he's up there. He's all strapped in, and
Speaking of
that's where he does his
straps,
final song. Speaking of straps, it was just so cool. So I was really blown away by the tech. And he had a second stage. We were sitting right by the second stage, so that was really cool. He did play a few songs acoustic, and I'll tell you, the musicianship. The guitarist was amazing. The drummer was absolutely badass. The bassist was badass. So it was still a good guitar show. And I'll tell you, I know it's shocking to our listeners and to you. I didn't totally mind some of the tracks.
Oh no, Timberlake's awesome. He's got so many great tracks.
No, I mean the filler.
No,
tracks,
I know
you
what
I'm
you
talking
mean.
about.
I know what you mean. So, like, what
Yeah.
were some of the tracks that you didn't mind, Dave?
So he used them. I felt like he, at least from what I could tell, I thought they were pretty obvious. And so maybe I missed a few, but I thought they were well placed. He kind of used them in spots where he was dancing around a lot, or when they were making their way to and from the second stage.
Were they vocal tracks? What were they?
Vocal tracks.
Oh,
There were some
really?
vocal tracks, and
Oh,
there was
okay.
also I think there was a drum track in there too, because he, as badass as his drummer was, there was definitely another kid in there somewhere.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And it's like, dude, just tour with a second drummer.
But sometimes
It's not
it's
that
just
hard.
like the logistics of it aren't perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you think for the
anyway.
most part it was a live band playing there?
For the most part, it was a live band
That's
playing.
amazing.
He did, and I loved how he featured his guitarist a number of times.
Oh, great. Oh, okay, very cool.
Yeah, brought him up front a number of times.
And
so
then
that
at
was
one
good.
point he plays an acoustic song or two or something.
Yeah,
One or
he
two.
played several, like 3, I think.
Oh, interesting. And what do you have, like a
Yep.
Gibson acoustic or something? Did you
Yep.
get a look
Yeah,
at
he
it?
did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like what
Yep.
did he have? Like a J or a hummingbird? What did he have?
I think it was no, wasn't it? What it does? No, it didn't have two. It didn't have the double pick guard, so it wasn't a hummingbird.
Do all the humming? I don't know
know what it
anything
would-
about acoustics.
Do all hummingbirds have the double? I don't
pick?
know.
No, I think you can get one with a. Did it have like the flowers
with a
on the
single?
pick guard?
I couldn't see that.
Oh,
It was
okay.
close enough, but I couldn't see
Yeah.
the pick
Anyway, whatever.
guard. It was also a couple bourbons in too.
Yeah,
so I
of
don't
course you were.
know. But yeah, it was great, man. It was a good show. I
Italian
never thought I'd go
food,
see a pop
bourbon.
show. Italian food,
You know,
bourbon,
I
and
don't
hey,
know that
there you
I've
go.
seen like a pop show like that. I don't think I've seen that level of production before. I've seen U2. U2's probably as close as I've gotten to that kind of level of production, which is pretty cool. Like the U2 shows, they kind of go over the top with theirs too, but not like that. That's insane.
That was insane. It made me want to see another kind of pop show like this, depending on who it is. So
Oh yeah.
it was good.
Yeah, he's great though, but he just got, I guess he acknowledged his DUI.
He did acknowledge. He
He
partially
made a
acknowledged
joke
his
about
DUI.
it. He said, like, "Are you
Made
guys
his way to the second stage,
driving home or something?" What did he say?
and the first thing he says when he gets up there is, "I just want to ask you guys a question. Is anybody driving? No. I mean, is anybody here for the first time tonight?" He goes into this whole thing.
Oh, geez.
So there you go.
Yeah, so he's
so
having
that
a little
was,
fun with
JT.
with himself. He's having a little fun. That's
Yep.
nice.
Yeah, he's adjusting to it. He's adjusting to it, and also adjusting to things. Is you figured out what you're gonna?
I did. You see that?
I did.
Yeah, I wanted to remember what it was. Yeah, so you guys are probably going back to straps. The thing that I forgot what I was going to say. So Richard Fortis, you probably come across this ad if you're on Instagram or YouTube and stuff, where he talks about this adjustable on the fly strap. This is intriguing to me. Do you think it's cool?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think for a gigging guitarist who plays a lot of different guitars, and especially a smaller guy like him, and he's playing these massive, like some of
I
these
think it's a
Gretches,
great idea.
the Falcon, and it's a great idea.
I would love to be able to adjust my strap on the fly like that. Though I'm gonna have to look into these. I don't know what they're called, but I'll figure it out. But in
you'll see
the
his
ad, he says that he learned about them from Phil X. That's what he says in the ad. I mean, who knows if that's true? But I mean, maybe it's true. But anyway, yeah, those are intriguing to me as well. If you're playing different things in different parts of songs, and you think it might be easier to have a lower slung, and then for a solo you want it higher slung. It's kind of a brilliant idea. I'm not going to lie, but I'd love to.
It's an absolutely brilliant.
I got to
idea.
try one of these things out to see if, like, do they really work? Are they kind of fiddly? I don't know. I'd have to check them out. So anyway,
yeah, that would be my only question. Are they fiddly? You're in the middle of you're playing a rhythm section, a rhythm part, and then all of a sudden you're going to go into the solo, and if you want to adjust it, is it going to be reliable and fast enough? I guess you just go, whatever happens.
But you're right. Like, is it really worth it? I don't know much about them, but they're pretty cool. They seem cool.
cool.
So that's another option if you didn't know about that and you haven't come across that ad. Kind of a cool little product that's out there that is probably worth checking out. So anyway,
I think they're very cool.
Anyway,
on to some gear.
Speaking of fun gear, let's get into it.
Speaking of fun gear, so Fender, of course, still celebrating their 70th anniversary. And had been phasing out the ash bodies since 2020.
The Strats.
But they're going to
the 70th anniversary of the Strat. That's what it is.
Oh, the Strat. Sorry,
yeah,
yes.
70th anniversary of the Stratocaster guitar. Yes.
I'm trying to move faster. Yeah. I'm watching time.
I know.
So they're going to be releasing these new American performers are going to be available in 3 new tone woods. Here we go.
Oh, tone wood discussion. Does tone wood matter? Oh, what are the tone woods? Let's hear it.
To me, I guess maybe now you can actually answer this question, right? Because up until now, these things weren't offered.
Yeah.
These. Let me pull these up here. They're going to be the 3 different woods now. You're gonna be able to get sassafras, which is described as like a swamp ash like alternative.
Yeah.
Kiss your sassafras, Steven Tyler.
Yeah. Kiss my sassafras.
Sugar pine.
Sugar pine.
Sugar pine.
I don't even know what that is. But and then spruce, is that the last one?
And then spruce. Yeah, spruce, which is like
spruce is a big acoustic
reserve
wood.
For
it's
acoustic.
Yeah, spruce tops are very popular in acoustic, as I understand it.
So the question to me is, wouldn't it be kind of interesting try a spruce?
Yeah, I think they are. Yes.
Well, I mean, to try a spruce against you don't have your Strat anymore, but against that and to see.
Well, I have my Sir. I don't even know what wood my Sir.
Yeah, well, what is your Sir?
You have to compare. Guitar is.
But
I don't even know what
to do
a
true experiment. You got to be the same guitar. Got to be the same. You got to be the same Strat.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is kind of cool.
So,
it's called American. It's called limited edition American Performer Timber model.
Yep.
I'm yelling timber. It's going down. Speaking of pop acts, there you go.
Speaking of pop acts, that's another one I'd say. Yeah, so there you go.
I didn't realize this article. This article says that Fender began phasing out the use of ash altogether back in 2020. Well, you said that?
Go back on the tape.
What the hell was I doing?
I don't know, but your hands weren't available.
Was I drinking something? I'm sorry, everybody.
Maybe that's why the hands weren't available.
But that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, because it's not sustainable anymore.
You said that when you talk about sassafras. Now it's coming to me. I must have been reading the article when you said that. I'm sorry.
You might have been.
I'm sorry, listeners. Listeners. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. The tone debate will continue because we'll have to maybe get our hands on some of these things and see.
The tone, we talked about this on last episode about Guthrie Govan, how everybody, everybody said that the tone did differ because of different tone woods. And then they also offer, did you say this, Dave? Yosemite single coil pickups, whatever the hell that is. I did not mention the
pickups. They've been offering those for a while. I don't know exactly. What are those? They
offer flat staggered pole pieces, which is interesting, which they say increases their output. Interesting.
It'd be interesting to try these things. I think it's just another cool guitar to check out. Speaking of tone, is Fender, and speaking of Fender, are they out of their freaking minds?
Yeah. What happened?
So they just announced the Fender 59 Bassman Tone Master.
Oh yeah.
Which, okay, fine. I understand some people aren't Tone Master fans. I get it. I don't mind them, but for $1,500,
you don't mind them? What do you mean you don't mind them? But you're not going to buy one.
I'm not going to buy one. I don't think they sound bad. I played a few. I don't think
they definitely don't sound bad. That's actually true. They don't sound bad. But I feel like for $1,500,
$1,500 for less than that, you can buy a used,
the real thing,
the real thing,
Bassman.
Yeah,
you can't. So why would you spend more money to get I guess you would spend more. I mean, I guess what they're doing here is saying, well, there's a lot of utility in this, so we're going to charge you a premium over the real thing for the utility, which is it's very lightweight. It sounds good. It's going to be more reliable, blah, blah, blah. That's all true.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like
It is all true.
$1,500 for this thing? I don't know. I don't know, Jim.
I don't.
It just seems like a lot of money. I mean, it does look cool to have it in. It's in lacquered tweed. I think this is this the first Tone Master they've done in lacquered tweed. It's kind of cool.
Yes,
that's kind of cool.
It is very cool looking. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it looks kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie, but it's kind of expensive.
It's very expensive. Are you getting better? Is this thing the Tone Master's easier in terms of controlling volume?
Oh, of course.
I'm not,
because
I'm not familiar.
They're
right?
completely solid state. So that's what I'm saying. Utility.
It's completely solid state.
So utility wise is you can use it at home at whisper levels without any problems, and it's very lightweight. And the the bass masters, the they should rename those the Bassmaster Challenge. The Basemans are big heavy amps, so you're getting a lighter weight amp as well. And if you want that sound, this is a 4x10. So it's the real deal is insanely heavy. So
yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool to play one of these just to see what it sounds. But the $1,500, I think that's going way above and beyond its market. I mean, Fender, I think, is really missing the mark here.
You think so? Yeah, I think you're right.
From a manufacturing standpoint, do you think this is what they need to cover their costs? I don't know.
It might be. So look, it also has an XLR output with IRs built in. That's kind of cool. I don't know that all the Tone Masters have that. Do they? I don't know if they do.
I don't know.
So that's kind of.
But that's a cool feature. Yep.
But it is. It's basically a model of. It's a digital amp modeling, a Bassman, and it's, is it doing? Maybe it's doing the thing. Maybe it's great, but it's a lot of money for something that's not the real deal.
It is right, and you're going to have the two schools arguing here. Those who are absolute disciples of the real thing will never play a modeler, and then you're going to have people that understand, if they're a gigging musician and they're not wanting to lug one of these things to and from a gig all the time, then like you said, the utility.
I think the utility really, might be there. I mean,
here.
I think if it sounds good and it can comp the sound, and you're a gigging guitarist and you really like the Bassman is your amp, I can see this being attractive because $1,500 is expensive. You could say for something that's like, it's a Bassman. It's like, it's a digital model of a Bassman. Why does it have to cost that much? It looks like it's built incredibly well. It looks cool. It has a bunch of different features, like modern features in it. So, on that side of it, I'm saying maybe it is worth the money. But, for me personally, I would be like, just get a Helix, or even get the Tone Master Pro, which is the same price, and have a bunch of different amps, right?
Right now, do they have the Bassman in that, right?
Yeah, they do.
The Bassman's available
the Bassman's
in the Tone Master.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this really? I mean, but like, again, for people that are traditionalists, it's kind of these things. It's like, if you're a traditionalist and you want an amp that's behind you, you're not going to use a modeling unit, but are you going to use this? Nope. Right? Like, I do question, like, is the market really there for this? So.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how these things sell.
Yeah.
But I think that, the Bassman itself is a hugely popular amp.
They keep releasing new Tone Masters, so they must be selling them. I don't know. They must be.
But the Bassman's kind of like an iconic thing, so that might help sell these a little bit.
Yeah, but they have all their iconic amps now with Tone Masters, don't they?
No, of course they do. Yeah.
What's missing? I don't know. I'm not a Fender amp expert, but let's see if I can find out.
I don't know. You guys tell us, because we're coming up on time.
Oh, are we? Okay, you don't want me to get into this? Okay, we'll get into this.
We should do this.
We can get into this on the Patreon if you want. We can go over what are they missing for the Tone Master?
That's right. All right. Yeah. So as we wrap up Thank you guys for listening, and make sure you go check us out at Guitar Dads Podcast on Instagram and on the Facebook group. Make sure that if you are interested in coming over to Patreon, where we're going now, and you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/Guitar Dads Podcast. Special thank you to our current patrons, and a special thank you to Alex from Copper Sounds for sponsoring this episode. And also, guys, I know you hear this from everybody else, but we got to say it because it does help. Leave a comment on the socials, leave a review, all that stuff. That really makes a difference and helps the show grow. So if you like what we're doing, please help out like that. If you don't want to be if you can't be a patron, then please just leave a review or something else. Subscribe, click all that stuff. You know what to do. It does.
You know what to do, bro.
But I think for now, that was this week's Guitar Dads Podcast.
Keep rock alive, catch you on the feet.